I'm Matt, and I'm in a crawl space. You'll just have to take my word for it. Can't point the camera at myself. I like to give everybody a nice big smile at the beginning, but I'm in tight quarters here. So this is the main sewer right here. That's the toilet coming down, and you can see there's water dripping out of that rust hole in the bottom. Then it goes in the ground right there, and I did a sewer scope and it was full of water from one end to the other. I couldn't see anything, so we're going to call that out. This house was built around 1920, I was told. Got some logs holding up. It's built on piers too. So piers, there's a brick column, a block column over there, CMU, cinder block, whatever you want to call it. And they're spaced throughout the foundation. It doesn't have a full foundation, so it sits up on blocks like a trailer. There's one right there. So houses like that tend to settle a lot. The floors here were pretty even, but you know, I always make people aware of that anyhow. So here's the boiler, and look how it's buried in dirt. We know it's a hot water system because there's the pump. It's not steam. Look at all the dirt in it. You know why? Because there's a gopher, a groundhog or whatever living in here, and there's groundhog holes everywhere. I don't think I've ever seen this much animal activity in a crawl space before. And he's dug under this pier right here so much that it's, you know, it's compromised, as we say. See that? They like to dig up under there. I've got groundhogs around my house and I run them off every once in a while. They like to dig up next to the house like that. They get up right next to my foundation and start digging. And I stick a water hose in there and flood them. They come running out. You know, I don't try to kill them. I haven't done that yet, but we may get to that point. So anyway, here's where the water's running down. There's a path. The water's running down right here, and it's water in this plant right here. And there's a big root right there, about as big around as my wrist, which is kind of odd because I didn't see any big trees close by. There's the expansion tank for the boiler, hot water system, like I said. There's the water heater. This water heater is, we'll have to come, I think that's a Bradford, no, it's a Ream. We'll take a pic, I haven't taken a picture of that yet. We'll come back to that. So you can get the data of that. See, here's more animal holes right here. It's got to be a groundhog. It's too big to be a rat, but there is a big bunch of rat poop over here. That is rat poop, my friends. And there's another big hole over there, groundhog. And there was a big sinkhole out there, so I think they dug over there and maybe it caved in on them. I'm not sure. But see, there's a pier. There's a pier, there's a pier. And then there's a wood skirt in between them. And then the outside is asbestos siding, of course. And so the siding goes right down into the dirt. When you see siding go into the dirt, that probably means there's not a full foundation, because they wouldn't put siding over a block foundation. They stop a couple feet up from the ground, right? And then we got this yellow stuff growing here. Let's get a good shot of the yellow. So different colors of suspected mold being different species. So we're going to call that out. And then they got some lumber laying on the ground, which it will rot and, you know, attracts wood destroying insects. They've got some rugs up here for some reason. The rug, yeah, that's a rug right there. And then there's a storm window sitting on top of it, so that holds moisture. See that rug over there? It's all dark at the bottom because it's sucking up moisture, and then it's lighter at the top. It's touching the ground there and sucking up moisture. So they don't use that boiler over there anymore. They put mini splits in here, but it looks like a fairly new boiler, but I'm not even going to inspect it because they don't use it. I'll mention it in my report though. We got some wire ran under the joists over here, which is, you know, it's not supposed to do it, but it's pretty par for the course around here in these crawl spaces. That's about it. So we got a lot of issues in here. We got sewage dripping in here. We got a big groundhog in here, I'm pretty sure. We got some structural issues going on. We got rotten wood on the ground. We got suspected mold. So I think that about covers it. All right, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching.